Hello, welcome to Kathaa Yaana. This is Panchatantra Yaana's Apareekshitakarakam segment. We saw in the last video that the judge was advising the people in the court that one must always count on intelligence and common sense and not on mere scholarship. And to illustrate that point, he began narrating them all this story. He said, "Dear people, in a village once lived four very good friends. Out of them, three of them were highly educated. They were highly learned, they were scholars, but they lacked common sense. The other one had studied something, but he was not as highly knowledgeable as the others, but he had common sense. Once all the four friends met up, and one of them suggested, "Dear friends, what is the use of having so much knowledge that we have attained if we don't make use of it? Tomorrow, my idea is that tomorrow we go to the king, we go to the palace, and in front of him we will exhibit all the knowledge we have. He will be impressed and he will reward us with money. What say?" The others said, "It is not a bad idea after all, we can go." And they all agreed to go to set out to the palace the next morning. And the next morning, as they had all agreed upon and planned, they all started their journey towards the city to the palace. But on the way, they had to go through a forest. While in the forest, as they went, they saw lying on the ground some bones of some dead animal. Now, one of them said, "Dear friends, now this is the right opportunity for all of us to test our knowledge, to put our knowledge to test. Why don't we bring these bones of a dead animal back to life?" They all said, "Yeah, it's a good idea after all." They all said, agreed. And one of them said, "Well, I can assemble these skeletons." And he assembled the skeleton. It was a very good job from him. Then another one said, "Well, to these skeletons, I can supply skin, flesh, and blood." And so, citing some magic verses, he gave skin, flesh, and blood to the skeleton. Now, another one, a third person said, "Oh, very good, very good. I see the skeleton, skin, and everything assembled. Now I can give life to this animal." But the fourth one, the fourth boy, who was not as knowledgeable as the others but who had common sense, he saw and he stopped that fellow. He said, "Hey, stop, stop. What are you doing? Are you crazy? Don't you see it is a lion? If you give it life, will it not kill all of us? Why should we lose our life? Come on, let's go," he said. But that person was adamant. He said, "Oh, you back off. I don't want to waste my knowledge here. The two of them have shown their skills, have shown their knowledge. Why should I not show my knowledge? It will be superior than the others. I want to induce life into this animal," he said. To that, the fourth one said, "Okay, okay, if you want to do that, wait a minute. I will climb this tree," he said. And he immediately climbed upon a tree as high up as he could and sat safely in between the branches. Now, as he went up, this person also cited some magic verses and induced life into the lion. The lion, as it rose up, as it got life, it was so hungry that when he saw the three people standing in front of him, pounced on all of them, killed them, and had a very good feast. Now, after the lion had done his job, the person who was sitting atop the tree came down, climbed down the tree, and happily, safely went back home. Narrating this story, the judge said, "This is why, dear people, I would suggest that all of you count on intelligence and not on mere scholarship." Now, I think it's getting late for all of us. We need to go home and get to do our daily chores. But before we go, there is one last thing I would like to tell you all. No matter what actions we take, we should always keep in mind that anger and vengeance and pride does not get in its way, or else we will have to face dire consequences, he said. and he began narrating to them another story. Listen, dear people. Once there lived a bird called Ganda Bherunda. Now, this Ganda Bherunda was a peculiar bird. It had two faces but one stomach. And this bird lived along a river. Once, along the river in the waters, came floating one fruit. One of the faces, saw that fruit, picked it up, and began eating. And it started telling, "Oh wow, how delicious this fruit is. I have never eaten such a fruit. It tastes just like I don't know what. I haven't eaten any fruit like this before. It doesn't look like this fruit is grown anywhere here. It must be from some paradise." It kept saying and kept on relishing that fruit. Now, listening to all that the other face was talking, the second face turned to him and said, "Hey, why are you eating it alone? Give that to me too. Give me also a small bite of that fruit. Even I would like to taste that paradise-like taste that you're talking about. Give it to me," he said. But this face said, "No, no, hey, what are you talking? Does it even matter? See, we both of us have one stomach, isn't it? How does it matter if both of us eat separately or only I am eating? It doesn't matter at all. Don't worry, I will eat it and your stomach will also be filled. Don't worry, don't ask for it," he said adamantly. Now, listening to that, being very upset, the second face got so upset that it did not get to taste that very delicious fruit, and it got so angry on the other face that it wanted to teach it a lesson. After so many days, again, when the bird came and sat near the riverside, the second face saw one more fruit coming by. When it saw close by, it picked it up and saw that it was a poisonous fruit. It turned to the first face and said, "Hey, look what I've got, poisonous fruit. The other day you did not give me that delicious fruit, no? Now I am going to eat this and you will die." To that the first face turned and said, "No, no, 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 don't do that. What, are you crazy? If you eat that, not only me, even you will die. Both of us will die. Don't eat it, don't eat it." But the second face was so adamant that it wanted to take revenge on the first face for having insulted it earlier. So it immediately ate the fruit, and the poison spread all over the body, and both the faces died. Narrating this entire story, the judge said, "Dear people, I have given you a lot of advice on how to go about taking actions reasonably, thinking them reasonably and wisely. Thank you all for your patience. We will meet some other time when we are about in our activities in the village," he said, and all the people dispersed from the court. Thus ends the segment of Apareekshitakarakam of Panchatantra Yaana. Not just that, we come to the end of Panchatantra Yaana series itself. Thank you all for your immense support and interest in watching our stories. If you have liked our stories, we would be very happy to listen from you. Please write to us at kathayaana@gmail.com. KATHAAYAANA@gmail.com. If you have missed any of the stories of Panchatantra Yaana, we have created separate playlists of each of the segments on our YouTube channel. You may go to our playlist section and watch the stories again or newly if you are new to this segment. Thank you very much. This is Lakshmi taking your leave. I will be meeting you with another set of new stories very soon. Thank you.